Woman had a great idea in California. Her name is Sheila Manvadi, and she started a successful campaign to save crayons and give them to schools in need of art supplies. She started this in 2009 when she and her daughter used to go to restaurants when their daughter was really young, and they would bring over 4 crayons, and the daughter would use them for 2 seconds, and then they'd be thrown away. And she said, how many of these crayons are being thrown away? Apparently millions were thrown away per year from various restaurants. You remember when they used to do that?
Sure.
And I guess they still do for toddlers. And the mom said, we got to do something better than this. So here she is. She talked about her idea.
The Crayon Collection is my organization that I started with my little toddler daughter when she was a super picky eater and we kept going to restaurants. She'd get a free 4-pack of crayons each time, and sometimes she wouldn't even use the crayons, but they'd still end up in the trash at the end of the meal. And this really drove me crazy because I knew so many kids need them, and the planet cannot take any more trash in our landfills.
So since 2009, since starting the Crayon Collection, she has saved 20 million crayons out of the landfills and put them into kindergarten classes across America.
Oh.
And even
Hey, children, the used crayons are here. This one's all worn down. Use it.
They throw them away after one use?
They have to. Isn't that something? Cause
I always thought they went back in the...
In the bin?
Yeah.
Because a lot of places just have big plastic tubs.
Yeah, they just put out 3 or 4 crayons or a whole fistful and say, have at it.
Well, a lot of places I've been would have them in a little plastic thing that you
Like
open.
a little white sleeve.
Little
I've
white
seen those,
sleeve.
yeah.
That's it.
All
Yeah.
right.
And then they're done, I guess, after that. Well, when we were at Disney World a few years ago, I brought over some ketchups to the table. This is a similar thing. I brought over I got a big handful of ketchup. Well, my wife had done the same thing. We were eating outside, burgers and fries, and we both had, so we wound up having 20 extra ketchups. And so the woman was coming around to clean up for the night. They were closing. And I said, we didn't use any of these ketchups. She said, they all have to be thrown away.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate,
Touched them.
I touched them. Yeah. This was before COVID or anything.
Oh, yeah.
And I had 20 ketchup. I said, these hadn't been open. I'll put them right back in the bin.
You will not.
She goes, no, we have to throw all those away. That's perfectly good ketchup.
Yeah.
I want to start the ketchup project. I want to start.
Where are you going to send those to?
Or the moms who take too many napkins.
Yes.
I use napkins, though.
We can take those home.
That's why a lot of these fast food, quick service restaurants, you have the pump with the little paper ramekins that you pump it.
So you can't grab handfuls.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's cheaper too, but it's a pain in the ass, and nobody's going to grab that much because it's just a pain to get those things. But you don't waste it.
You're right. And even if you do, it's in a paper ramekin rather than a plastic.
Yeah.
I concern myself with landfills.
I know you do.
And
Every waking moment.
this woman right here, she says, I am stunned at what I've done.
When I found out crayons are thrown away at a rate of 150 million per year from restaurants in America, I started asking restaurants to collect the crayons kids leave behind, and I would find a local school that was super vulnerable to benefit from them. And it makes a huge impact.
She has.
I thought you were going to say she melted them down and turned them into new crayons. But no, they get the nubs.
Yeah.
Papers ripped off of them.
Hey, Siri, take me to the poorest part of town. The crayon lady's here. The crayon lady's here.
That's right. She went to super vulnerable schools and gave them crayons. Is there anything better than that?
I didn't know we were hard up for crayons.
We are.
I had no idea.
We are hard up for crayons. Some teachers in lower grades were spending their own money on crayons, and this lady here has done it through the Crayon Project.
There was a time, obviously that urge goes away pretty quickly for most people. But when you would come in first day of school with a new box of 64 Crayolas, best feeling in the world when you crack that thing open, the smell the sharpener on the back. Trying to name the colors.
Yeah, what color is this? And then look at it and see if you were right.
Yeah. Magenta. Always loved that.
Indigo blue.
Cadet blue.
They changed that one. Didn't they change
Which one?
One of them they changed. It was
Flash.
Flash.
That had to be changed.
It was a little racist.
Flash was the color of some people's flesh.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not everyone's
No.
flesh.
No. All God's children got flesh.
Yeah.
Flesh. That's right. But it was the color of my flesh and your flesh.
Right.
But not everybody's
Not everybody's
flesh.
flesh. No.
That's exactly right. There was a golly there. I used to love that. He's exactly right. You get those new crayons and it's 64.
It was the biggest of the big.
And then there was like a year when you graduate from crayons, you have colored pencils.
Yes.
But that didn't last for me.
that don't hit
phase
right,
did
man.
last
Not as
long.
good.
Nah,
That's not
colored
the same.
pencils. That's bull.
I guess I wasn't in a super vulnerable school because we just flaunted them.
And
They were
super sharp, fresh crayons.
But them kids ate them. What's that carrot?
eat them and get you another 64.
It says carrot on it.
Just fine. That is just fine. That's right. The zero. This is the end of Heroes and Zeros. We have someone impersonating. I had never heard of anything like this. A Tennessee man facing charges for impersonating a Homeland Security agent because he has a pet fox, and that fox was eating chickens on the neighbor's property in Tennessee. They had chickens. And so he said, when the woman shot his fox, killed the fox, and he came over and said, "This is my pet dog." And they were like, "It's not a dog, it's a fox." And he said, I am a Homeland Security agent, and that's a Homeland Security canine." Well, she called the sheriff, and the sheriff said, "This is a fox."
Can they arrest him for just being a blusterer?
Yeah.
They arrested him for impersonating a Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Homeland Security.
Is just saying it mean you're impersonating?
Let me see if he had a badge.
Did he produce something?
He did not have a badge. Let me see here. This is the sheriff talking about it.
It was killing her chickens. It was killing the animals on the property there that she had. Mr. Redeker had reached out to her and identified himself as a Homeland Security agent, said that she was going to be in big trouble, that she had shot and killed a federal canine. Being a canine handler myself, I've never heard of a fox. Not saying that there couldn't possibly be one across somewhere in the nation, but this is not practical.
Okay. He did have a badge, but it did say female body inspector.
I was with the FBI.
So he's been arrested. That's a pretty serious charge.
I know.
Impersonating.
A Homeland Security officer. That's not even the highest of the
I know.
Homeland Security.
FBI,
Yeah, he
CIA.
didn't even do any of that.
That's all right if you're on a plane. It works. But
So, and a fox.
fox is gone.
The fox.
It's not a drug sniffing fox.
No, she shot the fox, thinking it was just a fox, but it was
Hell yeah.
it was his pet.
Got
That's a
fox
predator.
in a hen house.
That's a rough pet to have too.
It's frontier justice.
Yeah.
Fox. Yeah, that's what they do. They eat chickens.
The other guy the other day had a pet squirrel, but this is harder to control. A pet fox.
Yeah.